Still them talk say, make we off mind. But thank God say, my ego don't come. So my people make you laugh. Oh, yo, yo, my ego don't come. Oh, yo, yo. My people make we shout. Oh, yo, yo, my ego don't come. Oh, yo, yo. My ego don't come, man of the masses. Oh, yo, yo, my ego don't come. Oh, yo, yo. My ego die the political. Oh, yo, yo. My ego don't come. Oh, yo, yo. This one not day off in mind. Oh, yo, yo. My ego don't come. Oh, yo, yo. Person where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that my egun, that man too they talk. He do they talk. Say my egun diary, he dey hot like pepper. But every day then they take money in bulk. Woman picking, they the street they hawk. Still them talk say, make we no talk. But thank God say, my egun don't come. So my people make you laugh. Oh yo yo, my egun don't come. Oh yo yo, my people make
Hello there.
Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Mayegun Diary, Mayegun number one.
Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Morning to you, good afternoon to you, and good evening to you from wherever you are watching from. This is Mayegun Live.
Lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube.
Mayegun Diary, Mayegun number one.
Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Mayegun já wa sí.
Mayegun Diary, Mayegun number one.
Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í kó níbẹ̀ o.
Mayegun Diary, Mayegun number one.
Thank you so much for joining me again. And please share the broadcast. Invite your friends. Invite your not so friendly friends and tell them Mayegun today again.
Diary political.
Mayegun Diary, Mayegun number one.
Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Mayegun.
Mayegun Diary, Mayegun number one.
Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹ́kọ̀rọ̀ lẹ́nu.
Nigerians hate Supreme Court today because it has now become the Supreme Court of judicial bandits, bribe takers, political briefcasers. This is from somebody who was member of that same Supreme Court.
Mayegun ti dé, ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra jù.
Mayegun ti dé,
Àní ẹ̀ súnra jù.
Mayegun ti dé.
Nigerians are naturally cowards. The criminals that are leading them are very much known to Nigerians. They rant, but they never act. Rotif me, Amaechi, I have a lot to say tonight.
Ijó ìgbádìyẹ.
Mayegun mami,
Àní ẹ̀ súnra jù.
Mayegun ti dé.
Presido bá rúfin o.
Mayegun mami,
Àní ẹ̀ súnra jù.
Mayegun ti dé.
Read the caption of the broadcast. Read the description as well. Share it. Pay your offering, which is like the broadcast. Sit back, relax, and enjoy once we start.
Mayegun ti dé.
Aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o.
Mayegun mami,
Àní ẹ̀ súnra jù.
They are sore losers. APC.
Mayegun mami,
Àní ẹ̀ súnra jù.
Mayegun ti dé.
Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra jù.
Mayegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀ súnra jù.
Mayegun ti dé.
Mayegun ti dé.
I'm supposed to do the remix of this song. It seems like it's long overdue. We're supposed to don't add some extra. Anyway, I'm gonna work on that. Hello there. Good morning to you, good afternoon to you, and good evening to you from wherever you are watching from. It is Mayegun, the GO of the Temple of Truth, live. You see, when people started saying this Mayegun is a prophet, I said, no, I am not. I am just somebody who chose, right, never to forget the actions of people, including the perpetrators. You see, when you talk about something wrong, that is talking about the problems. I am just somebody who love to put all of the pieces together, and then we'll be able to kind of make a projection that usually come to pass. Unfortunately, most of the perpetrators of the crimes against Nigeria and against Nigerians, when they have the chance to actually do something by stopping the evil, they are mostly sealed-lived, because they are part of it. And it's kind of sad when people who are part of the evil machination, when they are no longer part of it anymore, then they suddenly begin to speak the truth. So it hurts, it's sad, because they could have made a lot of difference. When we come on here to say Nigeria Judiciary is a cash and carry business center, it is a place where justice is always for sale. And then the person with the deepest pockets would always be able to buy justice. That is what Nigeria has become since the criminal takeover of Nigeria has been concluded. Now, when you make such allegations with facts, mostly the affected people or institution in Nigeria, they will come back out with guns in hands blazing hot, coming for you. Oh, you are desecrating our image. You are defaming us. You are trying to tarnish the noble image of the judiciary. But this is coming from one of them that retired this week. It's been there for a while. The Supreme Court of Nigeria. Justice Abika Peni Injustice Muhammad Datijo. Now, this man retired. On the day of his retirement, he decided to let all of you receive this confirmation of everything Mayegun has told you about this criminal contraption. It is an establishment of crook. Until they are gone, Nigeria is dead. That's ash, isn't it, right? A country without justice and law. A country where criminals are, and then criminals and lawbreakers are lawmakers. You will never make any progress. It is not a cause. There is consequence, and there are consequences for bad choices. Now, from this table of somebody who has been inside, I want you to listen very, very attentively, word for word, from this retiring or retired member of the Supreme Court of Nigeria. It was supposed to be part and parcel of of the Supreme Court panel that was supposed to legitimize the drug dealer, the certificate forger, Tifnumbu. Here you get. Now, listen. Now, again, it is not because he's in any way useful to anybody anymore. That Tijo is no longer useful to anybody. His words are no longer useful to anybody. But you see, words of people like this, they are like words on marble to remind all of you that if, as he stepped aside, right, they are already planning on those who are going to replace him. The same tradition, right, that he was part of, that he decided to spill the beans while he was bowing out. Yeah, the same tradition continues. But to those of you who are enabling it, allowing it, and considering people like us who are taking them, they're calling them out, calling us troublemakers, people who have no respect. You cannot respect institutions that is being managed by criminals, even if they are wearing wig. Do you understand? You cannot respect institutions or group of people or anybody that is a criminal. You can't. You call them out because the consequences of what they are doing with those important institutions are unimaginable. And that is why they deserve no respect, because they are a bunch of criminals. Datijo called the Supreme Court of Nigeria Judiciary. He called them judicial bandits. People who have taken over the Nigerian judiciary. They have politicized it. They have ethnicized it. They have tribalized it. In fact, they have now turned it into a family business. And this is the man who has been part of it all along. He is not the Chief Justice, so he had this to say. Partly, let's listen.
The conversation about the diminishing number of justices at the Supreme Court has become a refrain. As I bow out today, the number is further reduced to 10 against the constitutional requirement of 21 justices. That this avoidable depletion has affected and will further affect the court and litigants is stating the obvious. We are in an election season where the election tribunals and appellate courts are inundated with all manner of petitions and appeals. The Supreme Court is the final court in the presidential, governorship, and National Assembly election appeals. Yet, there are only 10 justices left to determine these matters. Constitutionally, each of these appeals requires a panel of 7 justices to sit on them. When a panel of 7 justices is constituted to sit on a particular appeal, only 3 justices are left. Even when regular appeals are being heard in the Supreme Court, a panel of 5 justices is required to sit. We must not forget that the court, being the highest in the land, receives all manner of appeals from the court below. Presently, there is neither limit nor distinction to the manner of appeals that come to the apex court. Again, beside election matters which are seasonal, the Supreme Court's dockets is overflowing with civil and criminal appeals, some of which took many years to arrive. Most of these are still pending. Several have not even been assigned hearing dates. The court also exercises original jurisdiction. As the justices who hear these matters are grossly overstretched, unable to meet the demands of their onerous assignment, the litigants who approach the court seeking justice are left in limbo, waiting endlessly for justice to be served. These, as I have said before, are avoidable. While I exit today, the North Central Zone that I represent ceases to have any representation until such a time new appointments are made. My Lord Honorable Justice Ejembi Eko, who also represented the zone, retired on the 23rd of May 2022. It has been a year and 5 months now. There has not been any replacement. With the person of my Lord Honorable Justice Chima Santos Nweze, JSC, on 29th July 2023, the Southeast no longer has any presence at the court. My Lord Honorable Justice Sylvester Mwani Mbuta, JSC, died on the 7th of March 2021. I repeat, 2021. There has not been any appointment in his stead for the Southeast. To ensure justice and transparency in presidential appeals, thank God they have been heard and determined. All geopolitical zones need to be represented. They are required to participate in the hearing of such appeals. It is therefore dangerous, or it was therefore dangerous, for democracy and equity for two entire regions to be left out in the decisions that affect the generality of Nigerians. This is not what our laws envisage. Although it can be posited that no one expected the sudden passing of Honorable Justice Moses, yet it has been 2 years and 7 months since previous justice from the Southeast died and no appointment was made. The same thing with respect to the replacement of Justice Eko of the North Central, who exited nearly 2 years ago. Honorable Justice Sidi Bagi, now His Royal Highness, the Emir of Lafia from the North Central, had earlier voluntarily retired. He equally is yet to be replaced. Also, it was clear ab initio that I would be leaving the court this day on attaining the statutory age of 70. It is then not in doubt that there has been sufficient time for suitable replacements to have been appointed. This is yet to occur. When on the 6th of November,
so as to save our time, okay, so we're just going to go through everything like a little like that, okay. So that was him making a sort of argument for the Southeast Nigeria and then the North Central, which is the middle belt part of Nigeria, not having representatives in the Nigerian Supreme Court, okay. It is at the prerogative of the Chief Justice of Nigeria, okay, to make recommendation through the NJC, Nigerian Judiciary Council or something, right? So through them, then it will pass it on to the president to kind of approve, and then they will promote them to the Supreme Court and all that. But for some reason, since all those dates he mentioned, right? Now let's take a look at the part of the corruption in the judiciary that he also mentioned. Corrupted judgment, like that of Hopeless Uzodimba, the Supreme Court governor of Owerri, who has brought terrorism to the eastern part of Nigeria on behalf of APC, Egbekegbe, by the way, with facts and records to back that up. Dirty Joe, people are already calling him that thief, Abi. That thief Joe. Okay. If it goes well, right? Injustice, that thief Joe, Abi. Here is his position on the crooked judgment from the Supreme Courts that are completely against their own constitution in Nigeria.
if the people we have sworn to defend have lost confidence, there is a problem that must be addressed. Some of these senior members of the bar, inter alia, citing the Ahmed Lawan, the former president of the Senate, and the Imo governorship appeals, claim that decisions of even the apex court have become unpredictable. It is difficult to understand how and where, by these decisions, the judicial pendulum swings. It was not so before Le Fontaine. In some quarters, the view is strongly held that filth and intrigues characterize the institution these days. Judges are said to be comfortable in companies they never would have kept in the past. It is being insinuated that some judicial officers even campaign for the politicians. It cannot be more than fine.
And that is the Chief Justice of Nigeria there, okay? Ariwola, who made all of this happen. He's a member, or should we say he's a patron of the Werewike's G-string, G5, G5 are the G-string governors. So Ariwola, the Chief Justice of Nigeria, was like, he was so proud and happy that his own state governor, Sheyi Makinde, is a member of the G-string governor of PDP at the time. So if all of you didn't see the handwriting on the wall before now, I bet some of you are kind of still experiencing the shock or something, right? However, infiltrating the judiciary with their children, family members to make them justices across Nigeria is also another, the judicial banditry that has taken over Nigeria, the Agberuism. In fact, is about to get worse from the mouth of one of them.
The process of appointment of judges and the quality of judgments of courts. A couple of years ago, appointment to the bench was strictly on merit, strictly on merit. Sound knowledge of the law, integrity, honor, and hard work distinguished those who were elevated. Lobbying was unheard of. Lobbying to accost justices into their chambers by people who seek to be elevated, that the judges should put in words for them, were unheard of. You will just be sitting, and if those who are given the responsibility of making the elevation find you worthy, you just get a letter to that effect. You wouldn't have gone to anybody to ask for any favors or recognition. But that is not the case today, unfortunately. I never lobbied, not at any stage of my career, to secure any appointment or elevation. And I challenge anybody to contradict this statement of mine. As much as possible, the most qualified men and women were appointed. That can no longer be said about appointments to the bench these days. The judiciary must be uniquely above board. Appointments should not be polluted by political, selfish, and sectional interests. The place of merit, it must be urged, cannot be overemphasized. Recently, fresh allegations have been made that children and other relatives of serving and retired judges and justices are being appointed into judicial offices at the expense of more qualified candidates lacking in such privilege and backing. It is asserted that the process of appointment to judicial positions are deliberately conducted to give undue advantage to the children, spouses, and mistresses of serving and retired judges and managers of judicial offices. At the Court of Appeal, it is also asserted that presiding justices are now being appointed out of turn. Out of turn. When we were there, people to become presiding justices knew themselves and when they would become such officers. But now the perception is that now justices are being appointed out of turn. And there is the further issue of the unpredictable nature of recent decisions of the courts as well.
So you are watching this now. You are following all of this. And somehow, maybe something is kind of telling you, right, to ignore these facts and then still start telling yourself that justice must be served. Justice must be served. Justice must be served where? By who? These people? Where? In Nigeria, justice is a very, very rare commodity. In a country where you have judicial bandits. Well, Datijo did not round up his retirement speech without talking about why they are corrupt. According to him, the salary of a judge, I think, is about 750,000 naira, and which is really making them prone to corruption. Baba, we thought legal profession was a noble profession. No be so? Listen to this.
There is a terrible decline in the services and the welfare of justices and officers of the institution. I should know, and I know, and I'm saying it as I know them. It may interest one to know that, and this is another ridiculous thing, that the Chief Registrar of the Supreme Court earns more than the justices of the court. It's not something of today. This anomaly has been in existence all these years. I was a Chief Registrar in 1986. I knew what salary I drew vis-a-vis what the judges of the High Court that I served were taking. Supreme Court is the apex court. And yet, the Chief Registrar of this court earns much more than I do, earns much more than we all do. And nobody talks. Nobody talks. While she earns 1.2 million a month, justices take home 751,000 naira in a month. The Chief Justice, on his part, takes home 400,000 plus. The Chief Justice. The salary of a justice, curiously, drops rather than increases when he gets the added responsibility of being a Chief Justice. That the unjust and embarrassing salary difference between the justices and the Chief Registrar still abides remains intriguing, to say the least. It is highly intriguing that this anomaly, we all know it, and nobody has taken it a duty to do something about it. Valedictory session after valedictory session, lapses.
No, like that. So no wonder Kolu said they have to take good care of the judges in Nigeria. And when it took money, 800 billion naira for subsidy palliative, he gave 40 billion to the Nigeria Judiciary Council for their welfare. So Datijo had to add that if you think a judge that is earning 750,000 naira will be offered $10 million cash and a choice of property in his own choosing areas all over Nigeria and outside Nigeria, just to write a judgment that says Kolu has no case to answer, she no go take him. Well, that is the direct or indirect message that Tijo was also sending there, to say, well, we are poorly paid, and during elections is the time we cash out, and therefore we roll out fraudulent judgments, and people do nothing. And that is where Rotifmi Amaechi comes in. You know, Rotifmi Amaechi, the Ubima Judas Iscariot, has been in government for 24 years. He should know better. He should know better than majority of us. And when he came out and he said, what do you want anybody to say that Nigerians don't know? They never react. They are cowards. Just wasting your time trying to say what do you want to say that they don't know? He too, being part of the system that destroyed Nigeria, is kind of temporarily, or I don't know, is for now out of that power. Okay? Is not part of those who are currently lashing out a shege onto Nigerians now. So he can now talk. Again, it is not about Amaechi there. It is going to be Amaechi coming out to confirm things that you have heard on Mayegun's Diary Politico severally. Some of them they have gotten you hungry because to you, they can't be true. But when the criminals themselves comes out, when they are no longer in that, when they are no longer in active service, it is better to use their words to remind you that those who are there today, lying to you, okay, doing what they can to keep you completely mentally suppressed and oppressed. One day, day two, they are not going to be in active service. And you are spending all your time now trying to defend them and find excuses for them. Some of you will say you don't like Mayegun because of them. But in 4 years, in 8 years, in whatever years, when they are no longer in active service, they will come out and say exactly what Mayegun said. By then, majority of your lives would have been ruined because that is what they are really good at. Before Amaechi, let me tell you this. Rotifmi Amaechi, as a PDP member, was the speaker of the Rivers State House of Assembly for 8 years. In 2007. From 2007 to 2015. From 2019 to 2007. What am I even saying? 1999, rather. 1999 to 2007, Amaechi was the speaker, while Odili was governor. 2007 to 2015, Amaechi was governor of Rivers State. Now, 2014 and 2015, Amaechi left PDP to join the formation of APC, Egbekegbe. Then Amaechi became a minister for another 8 years under Bokwari. Right? Now, that Amaechi was out yesterday to remind, was it yesterday or even today? It was today. To remind Nigerians when they were asking him about the state of Nigeria right now. Amaechi would have been your president too. If nobody say Pablo Escobar has a more deeper pocket. Bandits. Amaechi came second in a highly monetized APC, Egbekegbe presidential primaries. That was the primaries where delegates were being given $30,000 cash. You remember? Have you forgotten? Tifnubu had to give delegate $30,000. Those delegates, I don't know if they still have the money anyway. Long story short, after that, Amaechi became someone that you can possibly call a lone ranger. He lost his political capital, his political base, and so many other things like that. Now, Amaechi said, well, you allowed all of us. He's not even arguing that he's a thief. No. In his own case, Amaechi is not saying he's not a thief. Amaechi is not saying he's not a criminal. What Amaechi is saying is that, well, Nigerians knows them as criminals. They know them as certificate forgers. They know them as whatever you want to know them and you saw them as, right? But what do you do about it? You just complain, you rant, you lament. It's the same Nigerians that are still going to vote for them. So what do you want him to say? What do you want him to do? To become your Malcolm X, Abi Martin Luther King. If you don't do anything, you would have to remain like that, because he said Nigerians are not ready for good governance. But mind you, this won't be the first time that Rotifmi, Amaechi, the Ubima Judas Iscariot, will say this. He's never shied away from telling all of you, but he knows Nigerians. He said Nigerians are natural cowards, and he's very right. Some will say, no, it's some Nigerians, Papa. And you go choose where you belong. Or if you don't say you know be coward, of course, everything where you they think, you won't wait for another person before you will do what you think you want to do. Do you know that? But we are waiting for people to lead you then. Amaechi is right. In 2014, Amaechi said, you people don't stone them. The moment you come out and they bring out soldiers, you will run away. 8 months after that, Rotifmi Amaechi became a minister under Buhari. Look at this.
There must be mass action. There must be mass action. I continue to say people must come out to the street. You see, one thing about Nigeria is the moment they see the police and the army, they run away. And that's because most of the people who come out actually are not poor people. They are rich men or rich men's children who want to enjoy themselves. The day the poor hit the street, then all of us will be on the run.
All of you will be on the run?
Yeah, including you. You're already on the run, so you're in America here.
Yeah, you're right. But seriously, are there times that when the elites, the people in political power in Nigeria, the rich people, which you all meet all the time, are there times that you're afraid that one day the poor could actually come out?
No, I don't know about others, but me, I do.
You do?
Yeah, I do. I believe that one day, if we're not careful, in fact, what we're doing, if you ask me, is not revolutionary. What we're doing, the 7 of us and the rest governors who support us, is to save the ruling class from themselves. Because actually, the way we are going to self-destruct. Or the way we're going, people will rise up one day and come after us.
Do you think other people are worried about that?
No, I don't know. I've never had that discussion. I know people are worried about the way the country is going. But I don't know whether they are worried to the point that there could be a revolution by the poor. Nobody knew that what happened in Tunisia will happen, because Tunisia was a police state. Don't forget that.
Yeah.
But it took the burning of one person.
Self-immolation.
Yes. That got Tunisia to where it is now.
This was when they were all rooting for Buhari. Jonathan was president at the time. And according to Amaechi, like the G-string governors of 2023, Amaechi and his crew, Amaechi was governor, okay? There was this other guy, they were like about 7, they formed rebel against Jonathan in PDP. So according to them, they needed to save Nigeria. The unemployment rate in Nigeria at the time was 8.5%. The exchange rate of Nigerian naira to dollar was at 145 naira to a dollar. Nigeria's economy was the biggest in Africa at the time, but Jonathan was considered to be a doom that they must save Nigerians from. So they were rooting for Buhari. 3 years after he made that statement and he became a minister, he was caught having a chat with Nigerians 3 years under Buhari. Listen to this.
These are not things you publish. If you publish it, you will never see it with me any day. 3 years of Buhari, everybody's dying, crying. Pressmen are crying, farmers are crying, workers are crying, politicians are crying, students are crying. 3 years old. But the rate of poverty is very high. People are hungry. Nigeria will never change. So You should learn to gossip with your.
They should learn to gossip with us because you chose to do that with us, and we appreciate it.
I've written to the governor of Katsina. I don't know why he has not replied to give us land in Daura for the university. That's one. So the university in Daura, the next university will be my village. The University of Transportation. I thought, why are you laughing now? All of you are graduates of one another. There's a common saying that when we are small, charity begins where? My own begin abroad. The president is not listening to anybody. He doesn't care. He can write anything he wants to write. The president doesn't care. Does he read? He will read, he will laugh. He say, come and see, they're abusing me here. In fact, there was one case of somebody in Odisha, a trader, who couldn't sell his goats during Salah. And I was with a guy in the plane. And the man was busy abusing Buhari because of Buhari, nobody buying his. He said, come, Amaechi, what's my business with Odisha goat seller? This country won't change, I swear. Nothing can. The only way this country can change is if everybody is killed.
Okay, how so?
This country is going nowhere, I swear. Nothing. You know, even if you divide the country into 10, it will still not change. No, I'm not joking. When Magnus was my SSG, I told him this country is hopeless, and helpless. So I stop it now. Coming from a governor, nobody, don't be saying that. When 2 months in Abuja, so this country is hopeless and helpless. I said, why? He said, you're right. The only thing they do in Abuja is share money. They don't work. These are not things.
So these were actually documented evidence of somebody who knows better, telling everyone that, Omo, you allow us to do what we want to, or you will still see one weary that is going to say, Amaechi is crying because Tifnubu no give him appointments. We are talking about your life, the life of your own children, if you have any, is being blown away. It's like, you know, your life is like that paper that is being set on fire and it's just going up like that. The ashes is going up in smoke. And all you care about is Amaechi is not being given an appointment. That is why he's crying. Are you being serious? Well, he said that at the time, and they all laughed. They all laughed. Amaechi, Rotif me Amaechi, was the one who was going to build a rail line from Kano to Maradi in Niger Republic, with Nigeria's borrowed money. Meanwhile, there is actually no real connection between the port city of Lagos from the western Nigeria to the eastern Nigeria, where Amaechi himself comes from, to facilitate trade. Now, in case if you don't understand this, I'll explain them to you better. Niger Republic is considered to be landlocked. They don't have any real seaports to bring in their own goods. So what they usually do is they use Benin Republic or Nigeria seaports, so that they will now truck their goods from Nigeria through the northern Nigeria to Niger, or from Benin Republic through Semeboda, through Nigeria and all that. So they always, according to Amaechi, they always complain of police extortions on the road, taking money from them, or the insecurity in Nigeria being this or that. So according to Amaechi, Nigeria should go and borrow $6.5 billion to build a rail line from Kano to Maradi in Niger Republic. And guess what? The total trade balance between Niger Republic and Nigeria annually is put at $410 million. It not even reach half a billion dollars. Nigeria Amaechi, to satisfy Bokuwari, was moving Nigeria to borrow money in building rail line to Niger for Niger Republic. People scream at the time, are you mad, Dini? What did they worry you? Why are you people like this? What is wrong with you? And he came out and he said, Chinese will not give their money to build railway from Lagos to Port Harcourt. They will only give their money to build railway from Kano to Maradi, and Nigeria will pay the full money. The same Rotifmi Amaechi was also, he also spent 3 years